Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome to the first cook here on the Holy Smokes Barbecue channel. So excited for this first cook because we are making today one of my all-time favorite dishes, and we're making it in the smoker. We are making smoked Lowcountry shrimp and grits. Now I'm from the South, and in the South flavor is king. And so we're gonna pack some flavor into this shrimp and grits. We're gonna make part of it on our smoker, we're gonna make part of it on our outdoor burner, on our grill, and it's just gonna come together really, really nicely. So with that, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna head over to the outdoor burner on the side of our gas grill, and we're gonna start making our grits. So let's go. All right, so I've got a large pot here on my outdoor burner, and to this pot I'm going to combine 7 cups of chicken stock, not chicken broth, because I found that chicken stock just has a lot more flavor. So I'm going to add in 1 full box of this is about 4 cups. So I'm just going to add this in here. Get that going. All right, I'm going to add not all of this other one. So we got about 4. I'm going to add about 3/4 of this in there. We're going to combine this up with some water. That's good. This is going to be the base for our grits. We're going to put them in. So I got 2 cups of water. I'm going to put that in as well. And I'm going to let this come to a boil. Once this comes to a boil, and we're going to go ahead and add in our grits. So far, super simple. I'm going to turn up the heat on my outdoor burner just a little bit so we can get that boil going. So we'll be back as soon as it starts to boil. All right, so our chicken stock and water has come to a boil, and now is when I'm going to add my grits. And so I'm using Quaker's old-fashioned grits. Now these are not instant grits, they're not 5-minute grits, they're not quick cooking grits. And that's really important because we want to just have normal grits. If we use those instant ones or something like that, we're going to end up having dried out, overdone, burned tasting grits. So I'm going to add 3 cups of these grits into my mixture here. And we want to do that sort of slowly, so as to avoid kind of our grits clumping up together. I'm going to add, so probably about every cup of these I put in, I'm going to give it a little bit of a stir. Put those in. Stir that around. Now, when you're adding in these grits, you could, and typically this is where you would add salt, but since we're actually not just using water, since we're also using chicken stock, that chicken stock is going to have that saltiness already that we're going to use, so we don't necessarily need to add more salt. I mean, you could if you want. It's all going to be taste. So there's our 2nd cup, and we'll go ahead and add in our 3rd cup. Now as soon as I add this 3rd cup and give it another stir, we're going to reduce this down to low, and we're going to let it simmer and cook that way. Okay. That's going to allow things to firm up. It's going to allow these grits to expand and to soak in all that delicious chicken stock flavor. It's going to make a perfect base for our shrimp. So I'm going to reduce this down to low. I'm going to cover it up. So now we're going to let this sit here on low heat. I'm going to stir it occasionally just to make sure nothing's clumping up or sticking. And then we're going to leave this here for about 20 to 25 minutes, and then we'll be back and we'll add a few things to it to make it even more delicious. All right, it's been about 22 minutes, and I just tasted these. They taste phenomenal. I know I said earlier we probably weren't going to add much more salt to this, but after tasting them, I do think they could use a little bit more salt. So there's a few different things that we're going to add at this point now that the grits are technically done. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add in 4 tablespoons of butter. Just like that. Okay. Then I'm going to add 4 ounces of softened cream cheese. Okay, that's basically half of the normal stick that you would get at the store. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. Gotta tell you, this garlic has been smelling real good in my backyard. Next, I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of salt. I think that's about where we need to be here. I'm just gonna add 2 tablespoons of salt here. And then 2 tablespoons of pepper. So I love fresh ground pepper. Amazing. Just gonna add that in. This is what's gonna make those flavors pop. Plus there's gonna be one more little trick that I have up my sleeve to make this pop even more. So now we're all about tasting. So we're gonna incorporate all these elements together into these grits. Oh man, this smells so good already. You can really smell that pepper. Smell that buttery flavor. Cream cheese is starting to break down in there. Oh man, I'm so glad I started a YouTube channel. Smelling so good. So we're gonna incorporate all of this. This is even gonna thicken these grits up a little bit more. And then we're gonna do something super special with them, so hang tight for that. Man, look at the texture of those grits. Super creamy, fluffy. Oh, it's gonna be great. Unbelievable. All right, so our grits are ready, pretty much, but I'm gonna do one more thing to those grits in just a second. I'm gonna show you, but what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take this disposable pan and we're gonna get our shrimp going. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put 4 tablespoons of butter into the disposable pan here. And I'm gonna go ahead and put this on my smoker. I've got it set to 450 degrees, and just a little bit ago, I actually put some thick cut bacon on the smoker as well, because we're gonna chop that up and top our shrimp and grits with that bacon. So that's been on there for a little bit. So that bacon is gonna add to that smoked flavor. That's gonna really just be an incredible thing for us to taste. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this into the smoker, and we're gonna get our shrimp all seasoned up. All right, so now I'm gonna get my shrimp all seasoned up. So because this is kicking it up to a smoker level, we're going to actually use this Pit Boss smoke infused competition smoked seasoning. I love this stuff. I use it on a lot of different things. It's really good on beef, pork, chicken. It's really good on seafood as well. So you could just season these shrimp with salt and pepper if you wanted to. You could use a different seasoning. This is where you really get to get creative. I'm gonna use this because I really wanna have this great smoky flavor. So we're just gonna put some of this in here. Actually, I'm gonna get a little bit bigger with it here. There we go. I'm just gonna give these a little toss in here. Okay, we really want to get these coated in that seasoning. We're just gonna keep on doing this until we feel like there's a good amount of seasoning on these shrimp. And then once this is done, we're gonna add them to that disposable pan that we used, and we're gonna add another quick ingredient, and then we're just gonna let it go. And the shrimp are gonna cook very quickly on the Pit Boss Pellet Grill, probably only about, like, I don't know, 3 minutes aside or so. And we're just going, since we're going at such a high temperature, they're not gonna take very long at all, and we're looking for that beautiful pink shrimp color. And we're not gonna cook them directly on the grate, so we're gonna cook them in that pan so that they really can absorb even more of that, the butter, and then we're actually going to put some cream sherry in there as well. So having them sit and kind of cook in that pan is going to really allow them to sop up all of those wonderful juices and that wonderful delicious combination of butter and sherry. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to be almost done. All right, so now I'm gonna add my shrimp directly to my pan of butter. You can see my bacon is going there, it looks amazing. I'm just gonna add this shrimp right to the pan that has that 4 tablespoons of butter in it. Like I said, this isn't gonna take very long at all. Get our lid closed. We're gonna back here. Woo, man, it's smelling great. Gonna spread these shrimp out a little bit more. My bacon, oh yeah. I like my bacon to be a little bit crispy. So I'm actually gonna take this bacon off. I'm gonna let it rest for a few minutes here while I finish everything up. But another thing I'm gonna do, I told you I had another trick up my sleeve, is I'm putting those grits right here on the smoker. Just a few minutes. So I'm gonna take the bacon off, put the grits on, and then we'll be back. All right, now I've got my grits over here. Give those another little stir. Oh man, that smells amazing. Got our grits. Got our shrimp. All that's left is wait till those shrimp are done. We're gonna do one more quick little thing. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get our grits off of here. I'm going to move these shrimp a little bit closer to the heat source, which on this pellet grill comes from this side. So I'm just going to move it a little bit closer to speed up the cooking process of those shrimp. All right, let's check on these. Oh yeah, these shrimp are done. Yep. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to remove the shrimp from the pan, but I'm going to leave the pan with that nice buttery sauce in there. And we're going to make a little bit of a sauce, and that sauce is actually going to help to thin out the texture of those grits a little bit, because the grits right now, they're pretty thick, and typically you could add milk to them, or you could add maybe a heavy cream to them or something like that. But we're going to add this delicious sauce, because that sauce right now, I wish you could smell it. You've got that butter flavor, but you've also got that really intense smoke flavor, which some people would rather keep the smoke flavor light and mild. That's totally fine if you want to do that, but I'm all about it. So we're going to add some things to this pan that's going to make a sauce that's then going to kind of kill two birds with one stone. It's going to thin out our grits a little bit, and it's just going to be overall delicious. All right, so got my shrimp out. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add 3/4 of a cup of that cream sherry. Okay, and this is going to give it just another level of flavor. So I'm just going to add that right to the pan. And I'm going to stir it around a little bit. What we're really looking for here is for this to reduce down to about half as it cooks. And again, the smoker's just roaring away at 450, so that shouldn't take too long here. So we're going to let this go, and then we're going to come back and we're going to add one more component to it, let it thicken up a little bit, pour it right smack into our grits. It's going to be beautiful. All right, now I'm going to put the final touch on this. I'm actually going to add a cup of heavy whipping cream to this mixture. And I'm going to stir that up until it's thick, and that's going to go right into our grits. All right, man, I wish you could smell what it smells like right now. I'm going to grab this sauce out of the pan on my pellet grill. It's thickened up a little bit, so I think it should be really, really good to pour right into my grits. I'm just going to pour that right in, just like that. Oh, what an amazing smell. Now we're just going to fold that in, just like that. See, the grits have kind of thickened up as they've sat, but this is going to break them down again really nicely. So the end result is a super creamy, amazing grits. Once this is fully incorporated, we're going to be ready to build our shrimp and grits in a bowl. All right, everyone, it's time for the moment of truth. We're going to go ahead and build our grits, shrimp and grits platter here. Right here, we're going to put our grits in the bowl. Just like that. I'm going to grab some shrimp. Listen, I'm from the south, so I'm just going to use my hands. You know what I mean? Just what you do. I'm going to put a couple there. And a couple there. I may or may not have snuck one of these shrimp already. They're amazing. Here I've got some of that smoked bacon that I made earlier. Kind of broke it up into little chunks here, little pieces. Just gonna put that right on there. And then, little secret here, I'm gonna use this Kinder's wood-fired garlic seasoning to just a little bit on the top here. This is just going to give it a little bit of that extra smoky. I'm not going to do a ton, just enough. And there you have it. Our smoked Lowcountry shrimp and grits with our smoked bacon, smoked everything basically. It's going to be incredible. Can't wait to dig in.